Alright, last video we talked about the introduction, and today we just get on to the course. So, Google Cloud Architect Learning Path, number one course, a tour of Google Cloud Hands-on Lab. Start lab. Let's get right into it. Let's clean all this. There's no, because this is not a course from me to you. This is just my own document of my own journey for taking the exam. So there's no, it's gonna go as it goes. There's no editing, there's no correcting of my, a little mistake here and there. Just go with the flow. Alright, let's get started. Objective in this lab, you'll learn how to perform the following task: access the Cloud Console with specific credentials to explore the lab platform and identify key features of a lab environment. View various Google Cloud projects and identify common misconceptions about them. Use the Google Cloud Console navigation menu to identify types of Google Cloud services. Manage basic roles and use the Cloud IAM service to inspect action available to specific users. Explore the API library and examine its chief features. Prerequisites. This is an introductory level lab and the first lab you should take if you're unfamiliar with Google Cloud. If you're already experienced with the Cloud Console, consider taking one of the following labs. Getting started with Cloud Shell and G-Cloud. Create virtual machine. If you decide to take one of this lab, be sure to end this lab now. Now we are going to pretend I already have some experience, but like I said, I just want to go with the flow, go from beginning to the end. So we're gonna treat this as refreshing course. Let's see. Lab fundamental features and components. Regardless of topics and expertise level, all labs share a common interface. The lab that you are taking should look like this. Okay. With the following lab component definition and then locate them in the interface. Start lab here. Well, we are not going to start lab because for the following, not just this course, throughout the course, all the courses of this learning path, there were many labs that cost money, and instead of buying, it's set here credit. The price for the lab, 1 credit is usually equivalent to $1. Discounts available when you purchase credits in bulk. Some introductory level lab like this one's free. The more specialized lab costs more because they involve heavy computing tasks and demand more Google Cloud resources. So throughout the whole learning journey, I'm not going to purchase credit through the lab here. I'm gonna go with our own. And I'll find out how it should be free, but if I'll find out if there's anything is not free, you'll see how it goes in these videos. Paying for the lab, some labs are free, others are required to pay, and if you don't, for those, you have to click start lab button. A dialog give you a choice like this. Launch the lab with the access code and credit, all credit. This is free, that's why I already give it. Otherwise it'll give you a give you a prompt that asks you to buy credit or code. A browser tab contains lab instruction. When you start the lab, Google Cloud Console user interface open in new browser tab. You may need to switch between the two browser tabs to read the instruction and then perform the task. Depends on the physical computer setup. You can also move two tabs in separate monitors. Test your understanding. Answer the following multiple choice question to reinforce your understanding of the concept covered so far. When the time reaches 000, you lose access to a temporary Google Cloud environment. I think it's true. Okay. Some labs have tracking which score your completion hands-on. Yes. In order to achieve completion credit for tracking, you must complete credit hands-on. Credit for, I think it's true. Task 1. Access the Cloud Console. Start the lab. Till you finish lab. Okay, so again, we're not going to start lab, so I'm going to skip this part. Lab detail pane. Now that your lab instance up and running, refer to lab detail pane on the left. Contain open Google Cloud Console button. Credentials, username, password. Okay. Now that your lab is up and running, and then we can click on this one. What I did was clicking on Get Start, and it would take you to here, to your home page of the Cloud Hub. And then before I go on, I should bring this up here. Now we have two windows. We can click on Open Google Cloud Console button here, and then which you can find it. Wait. Oh. On the Cloud Hub here, you can click on top over here, and you see Open App here. That's how you find your projects. We can skip all this because we already logged in. Answer the following multiple choice question and reinforce your understanding of the concept covered so far. What fields are not found on the left pane? Password. Oh, why can I? Wait, what happened? What's going on here? Yeah, I don't know why this doesn't allow me to click. It seems like when I end the lab, finish my lab, congratulations. It seems like it doesn't allow me to retake. Even when I refresh, but it's fine. I guess we can still go on. That's weird. Google Cloud Project was explained in the section about content of the lab detail pane. Here's the definition once again. A Google Cloud Project is an organizing entity for your Google Cloud resources. It often contains resources and services. For example, It may hold a pool of virtual machines, a set of databases, and a network that connect them together. Projects also contain settings and permissions, which specify security rules and who has access to what resources. And the left upper corner of the central pane contains the card labeled project info. Let's see here on the right. Let's go back to the hub. There's something weird going on here. Where's my... Okay, this is the welcome. This is the lab. Let's take a look at our first project. Okay, so when you go to dashboard, you will see the project info here. The first card with the project name, project number, project ID. Project ID is unique, and you cannot change project ID. View all projects. In this lab, you actually have access to more than one Google Cloud project. In fact, in some labs, you may be given more than one project in order to complete the assigned task. In the Google Cloud Console title bar next to your project name, click the drop-down menu. I think it's be this one. Or in the select project dialog, click all. I think it's maybe this one. Click all. Okay. It's not uncommon for large enterprise or experienced user of Google Cloud to have dozens of thousands of Google Cloud projects. Organizations use Google Cloud in different ways, so projects are a good method of organizing cloud computing services by team or product, for example. The Quick Lab Resources project contains files, datasets, machine images for certain labs, and can be accessed from every Google Cloud Lab environment. It's important to know that Quick Lab Resources share read-only with all student users, which means that you cannot delete or modify it. The Google Cloud project that you are working with is temporary, which means that the project and everything it contains get deleted when the lab ends. Whenever you start a new lab, you're given access to one or more new Google Cloud projects, and that not Quick Lab Resources is where you run all of the lab steps. And click cancel to return to the Cloud Overview page, which we did. Test your understanding. Since I'm not able to do this, let's see, an organization entity for anything you build with Google Cloud project. Quick Lab Resources shared read only with all Quick Lab users, which means that you cannot add, delete, or modify it. That's true. Quick Lab Resources is the project where you run all the lab steps. That is true. Navigation menu and services. Clicking on the icon which is on navigation menu here, that provide quick access to Google Cloud core services. View all products. It's down here. You click on View all product for documentation that covers each of the category for more details. Task 3. Review and modify roles and permission. In addition to cloud computing services, Google Cloud also contains a collection of permissions and roles that define who has access to what resources. You can use the cloud identity and access management Cloud IAM service to inspect and modify roles and permissions. View your roles and permissions on the navigation menu. Click IAM and Admin. IAM. This opens up the page that contains a list of user permissions and roles granted to specific account. And so currently we only have this one, moadigital@gmail.com. The principal column display blah 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 your matches your username that you sign up with. The principal, again, moadigital@gmail.com. The role column display, this is mine, is click owner, and then you can go to the right, see the rest. The following table posts definition of role documentation, which give a brief overview of viewer, editor, and owner role permission. For viewer roles, permissions for read-only action that do not affect states, such as viewing but not modifying existing resource of data. Editor, all viewer permissions plus permission for action that modify state, such as changing existing resources. For owner, all editor permissions and permission for the following action: manage roles and permission for a project and all resources within the project. Set up billing for a project. As an editor, you can create, modify, delete Google Cloud resources. However, you cannot add or delete members from Google Cloud project. In the section Grant an IAM role, you make a simple IAM update to grant permission of viewer role on the project. Okay. Let's see. Grant access. I don't have grant access. That's funny. A grant access here. At principal. Select enter identify user 2 for principal. Does it work on for if I for select the role? Click on assign role section. For the viewer, I don't have it, but if you have another member email, you can put it here, and then you put it in the viewer, and then click save. But for this, for my own, I don't have any other members, so I'm gonna skip this one. Test your understanding. Answer the following multiple choice question. Okay. Offers quick access to platform services, also outline its offering. Navigation menu. Basic rule set project level permission and, unless otherwise specified, control access management. Google Cloud Project. Google Cloud Services. I think that's 2. Provides all viewer permission plus permission for actions that modify state, such as changing existing resource that's added a role. Task 4. Enable API and services. Google Cloud API are key part of Google Cloud like services. The 200 plus API range in area from business administration to machine learning, and all easily integrated with Google Cloud Project and application. APIs are application programming interfaces that you can call directly or via client libraries. Cloud APIs are use resource-oriented design principle as described in the API design guide. When the lab provides a new Google Cloud project for a lab instance, it enables many API automatically, so you can quickly start work on lab tasks. When you create your own Google Cloud project outside the lab environment, you will have to enable API yourself. This is very important. Let me repeat that again. When you create your own Google Cloud project outside of the lab environment, you will have to enable APIs yourself. Most cloud API provide you with detailed information on project usage of the API, including traffic level, error rates, and even latency, which help you quickly triage problem with applications that use Google services. On the navigation menu, click API and Services and Library. The lab pane under the header, click the header category. Display different categories available. In the API search bar, type Dialogflow and then click on Dialogflow API. The Dialogflow API allow you to build rich conversational application, for example Google Assistant, without having to understand the underlying machine learning and natural language schema. Click Enable. Click Enable. Okay. And then the state, you can see here status here is enable. Go back one, and it also stated API is enable. Click Try this API. A new browser display documentation for the Dialogflow API. Explore this information. Close the lab when you finish. Close it. To return to the main page, click navigation menu and Cloud Overview, and then you can see check the My Progress to verify the objective. Where is the progress. Is return navigation menu cloud overview. This is overview. Click check my progress. I think it's already done. I don't see otherwise on the progress. Okay. Okay, so I don't have to, let's disable the Dialogflow API because it was just a demonstration. I don't want to incur any cost. Okay, now that we verify API enables already disappear, so we can go on. When you start a lab, test your understanding. When you start a lab, you need to enable API in your project to start working. That's false because again, the lab already provide enabling all the API needed. Test annual lab. Okay, so we finished this lab. It gives you a overview understanding of the navigation menu of the what does it call it? Cloud hands-on lab. And then we move on to the next. Next would be, I believe it would be the, let's go back to the very beginning. I believe the next would be the second course, preparing for your professional cloud journey, and this will be covered on the next video.